Hey, everybody. Hope and pray that you're doing well. Today, as we come to our word from the Word. And today, that word is unheard. Unheard. Now, so many times, as we've been going down this journey, talking about and pointing out the prayers of those in conversation with God. And I know here recently, I've really just been kind of looking at Kings and kind of summarizing them as we've been going through Chronicles, especially. But in there, you've seen prayers of faithfulness. You've seen prayers or accusations against God. But there's something special that I like here in the end of Second Chronicles chapter 30. As you're reading along and you see, there you go, I'm just giving you the real quick summarization of it. You see, he wants to set up a Passover, and he says, look, it's not even the right time, but look, we don't care. Everything is back together. We're getting back our eyes back on God, and God, I mean, even the prayer that you see in these chapters is beautiful. It's essentially saying, God, I know this isn't the right time, but Lord, we are ready. We want to celebrate. We want to take up the slack that our ancestors had, right? We want our fathers before us that they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And so now, Lord, we want to start fresh and we want to start right now. And we want to make it a point to be clean before you, as we talked about a little bit yesterday. But as you see, he's trying to set this Passover, and you'll see different reactions from different people. But then as they come on, you see that even the author, the chronicler here, as he describes him, he compares Hezekiah to David and Solomon. And it talks about the sacrifices and the worship that's going on really in relationship to the temple. Now you take that compared to some of these other kings we've been talking about, that they get compared to the David in the fact that they didn't act like him. But here today, the end of Second Chronicles chapter 30, looking at verse 27 with that word unheard in the background, says, Then the priests, the Levites arose and blessed the people, and their voice was heard, and their prayer came up to his holy dwelling place, to heaven. Excuse me. Now, part of that, I could not help but think of, even New Testament truths, that if you have something against your brother, then before you come to the Lord, go take care of that matter first and then come back, and give your offering to the Lord. And just to think about that, if it's same thing in New Testament in Jesus' teaching on the Sermon on the Mount, that, if we haven't forgiven others, then how do we expect to be forgiven ourselves? And I think here it just kind of struck a chord with me as it says, I mean, they've gone through here, they've done all that reform, and then it says, and God heard their prayer. It's almost as if to say, yes, because in previous generations, God didn't listen to them. God didn't hear their prayer. There's a lot of times in our lives that our hearts get so stained by sin and we get so unclean, as we were talking about yesterday. We get to that point where we go through the ritual of saying the prayers, but our words are not even, as the old saying is, the words aren't even going above the ceiling, right? They're just bouncing back, and the only one hearing it is whoever's in the room. But see, when we want our words to go straight to the throne room of heaven, it's when we first admitted that we were unclean, admitted that we needed cleansing. Even to go back to the story of Ruth that we've been talking about, you remember when she went to go make that proposal to Boaz, that Naomi told her, said, look, you need to first wash and cleanse yourself. And that's the same way we need to come to God to worship. We need to first wash ourselves, cleanse ourselves. And I'm not just talking about taking a bath. I'm talking about spiritually taking a bath. Spiritually asking God to remove all that stains us, all that keeps us, all those impurities that keep us from being holy as he is holy, all those things that make us not look like him. We're to be a reflection of him. Christian, little Christ, all the things in our lives that don't look like Christ. That's the things we need to wash off. And see, the beautiful thing is that when we do that, now not only have we opened up that relationship, but now we've opened up the lines of communication. Now, instead of, essentially, instead of getting a busy signal or getting God's voicemail, if you want to look at it that way, now you're getting, he's on the other line. He's listening. Now, God knows your heart. God knows what you have need of before you ask, but he still tells us to ask. I'm telling you, when we're doing our part, when we're being faithful and obedient, then those words aren't just words anymore. Now those words are prayers that are heard where God is. And if God is in heaven, that's where his words are. That's where your words are, where they're heard. Think about that for just a moment. The prayers that you pray silently, where no one else on this planet can hear, God hears, and He's in heaven. You just think about that. The next time you think that someone else is not listening, maybe even you think God's not listening. Now, sometimes we don't hear response. Talked about that Sunday that, during the test, the teacher is always silent. So maybe He's just waiting. Maybe you have to patiently wait and accept it by faith and just trust Him. But I can tell you, if we want to be sure that our prayers are getting heard in the first place, we need to first make sure that we are clean. God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.